Trigger warning. This episode has mentions of suicide. If you are in emotional distress, please reach out for support and know you're not alone. You can reach out to the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by calling or texting 988, or reach out to the Crisis text line by texting HOME to 741741. Both of these resources will be in the description. If you're unsure if these topics will trigger you, please muscle test before continuing. Thanks for listening.
Welcome to the Dance to Heal podcast. I'm your host, Jenny C. Cohen. Join me as I share stories of how life is a dance. I'm a cancer survivor, mother of two, and an award-winning performer who found that mind and body-connected movement is vital to healing in a way that is safe and tailored to your life. I created Dance to Heal Wellness featuring the Spotlight Confidence Formula and also authored the best-selling award-winning book, Outside in Recovery, Dancing My Way Back to Myself After Breast Cancer. I will bring new ways to help you on your dance journey and healing path. Are you ready to move? Dance to Heal starts now. Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited with our guest today. So this is Sanya Bari, and she is a therapist, author, and creator of the Love Clarity Method. I'm not going to read the rest of her bio because I think that should be enough to catch your attention. Sanya, welcome.
Thank you, Jenny. So wonderful to be here with you.
We both share East and West Coast right now, audience. And I want to say that the topic of being able to love deeply without losing yourself, we kind of went off on a tangent before I even hit the record button. Because for many of us, especially if you're female identifying, oftentimes the role model is that the woman gives up everything for her family. And I love this messaging of how you can love deeply without giving people access with no boundaries. Tell us about what that means to you, Sanya.
What that means is that love to me, Jenny, is the most powerful source of creation that exists. Anything that you and I have been inspired by, lit up by, that has pulled at our heartstrings has been created by somebody's heart, and it's been powered by that insurmountable energy of love. But just like all powerful things, if you don't know how to use it, it can really hurt you.
Mm-hmm. How do you define love?
So love to me is coming into that space within yourself where that calm, wise place is always present no matter what is going on outside you. Mm-hmm. And love to me has to come through your own loving with yourself, through your own ability to connect to that part of you. Anything that doesn't come rooted and tethered in that space is something that has the potential to hurt you and the one that you're loving.
If you're listening to this and this has you catching your breath or go, whoa, this is new, or you have some chills, or your reaction is, I've never experienced that. Audience members, I really would like you to stop for a moment, unless you're driving. If you're driving, please don't stop. Stop for a moment and pause this recording and ask yourself, what does this mean to me? Because there's a reason why I was suddenly asked to ask this question of Sanya, right? Love is a very ephemeral thing. Oftentimes, I come from a culture that was always acts of service. I never heard it. I never saw it demonstratively. Like, I was never given hugs. I never saw my parents holding hands. Some of you do have experienced that when you were growing up, or maybe when you were older. I love this reminder, Sanya, that it actually has to start within, because I don't think I ever had that modeled to me, and I had to show that to my children.
I actually had the opposite, Jenny. I understood that if you love someone, you've got to put yourself aside for them. I literally used to feel that. And all of us, when we're born, we are so well connected to that center that I just spoke of. There are no babies who apologize for being themselves. They don't, whatever they need, they're authentic, they cry, they have a great self-esteem. It's when we grow older, when we're told to diminish ourselves. So our first connection, that phone line, is to ourselves. It's later on that I literally remember programming myself, because then children are called selfish, especially they call terrible twos, because children are exercising that thing. And that is the time when we, so to speak, tame the children, or we house break them. And that to me is the breaking of the soul. And we get a chance later on, after we have really gotten ourselves hurt tremendously in that venture of trying to please everyone, get validation from everyone, that we come back to our second mountain and climb that back to ourselves. This time, with all of that other information that we have, that's also important for us to know how to socialize. We have to know that we can't take our clothes off just because all of our clothes off just because we're feeling hot, or start eating the cereal in the aisle before it's bought. We've got to know that. But this time around, we have that knowledge, but also that there is no real love unless we are first loving ourselves, loving others through ourselves.
I love this observation, Sanya. I love this because in my return to myself, that baby that was born 57 years ago, just excited, and then being shown through just the culture that I was born into, that females weren't really wanted, right? They wanted a boy. And other people listening to this podcast right now, this empowering of self, meaning you have the key to your own peace once you begin to love yourself. And that's hard. Sonia,
Very hard.
right? And it comes out of our mouths easily now. It took me a lifetime to realize that.
Yes, because to me, self love felt like narcissism. And I thought to myself, I mean, all of us have somebody that we know is super narcissistic. And you have that person in front of you, and you're like, oh my God, I would rather be somebody who's taken advantage of and is people pleasing than like this person. And it's interesting how I just thought of those two extremes because I really didn't know what the middle was.
Oh, I love this. Yes. Well, and then now in the research, they're realizing that the narcissism comes from people who are suffering from some form of trauma. It's like a protective stance, right? So it's not someone going out of their way going, I'm born and now I'm going to be completely manipulative and find some way to have everybody think that I'm in control when really I just want love.
Yeah. Yeah. Hurt people hurt people. And even very small children, I'm going to say, let's say maybe somebody who's 9 years old, 8, 9 years old, if there is a person who is coming up with those narcissistic tendencies showing off, even a child that young can pick up on that person's insecurity. Like, I guess they really need to prove this. They really need to drive this point home about who they are and what they do. I guess they don't really feel very good about themselves. They may not be able to verbalize and articulate it, but they know that this person has got something to prove. While other people are resting, they're out there proving something. Even people pleasing, something that I suffered with, that I always keep an eye on. That is something too that comes from that lack of self-love, or an understanding of love. And it was very confusing for me to understand what self-love was, and I didn't really begin to work on any of this, including how do you love yourself without getting hurt, until my biggest motivation was that when you love people, when you're not tethered in, you actually hurt them. It's so interesting that my journey started with understanding that I hurt my children when I don't love myself first, because then I use them to validate me where I don't have validation, where I didn't get validation.
I'm just giving you hearts right now. My audio people, you have to go to YouTube to see the hearts flowing through my screen right now for Sanya. As moms, right? We try so hard to protect them from the outside world, not realizing that if we're not centered, we're actually part of the burden that the world's giving to them, right?
Yes.
Ugh.
It is, and when I was a single person, it was a lot more manageable, and I really looked like somebody who from the outside had self-love. But then as it gets complicated, when it's challenged, I do love myself, except for when I'm in a relationship, because then I don't know who I am, because I buy into some belief that I'm gonna love you. I don't have to love myself because you're gonna love me, right? So I have to let myself go. And then when the kids come, like you said, there's no end to how much you can do there. So that's really a place of insanity where you can lose yourself. But I have to say that when I was reteaching myself what it means to have self-love, what I really wanted was an experiential model. And the way I understood that is that I'm going to treat myself the way I treat my daughter. I don't need a psych degree for that. I don't need somebody to explain it to me. No matter what happens, if somebody crosses the line, I know right away in a matter of seconds that that's a no go.
I have a question for you because for me, the pathway back to myself was learning to be present and learning to listen to my body's unique language. What was it for you?
Well, the path was really arduous for me. I think I made it bad. Like, some people are the kind of people that if something happens, you just learn. But I'm the type of person that needs to be dragged through Main Street, cuts and bruises, like, drop to my knees. Okay, fine, fine, I'll get up.
Yeah, yeah.
So mine came after a suicide attempt when I just had made my life so unmanageable. By the way, all in the name of love. It just was something that I just couldn't live anymore. And I didn't plan on living that next day that I woke up. And I was a little embarrassed because I was planning on not being discovered that this was an attempt. It was supposed to be a quiet, gentle dying during sleep. And so I said, okay, I guess I'm going to trick everyone and I'm going to stay here for a little while. And after everybody moves their attention away from me, then I'm going to try again. But the universe tricked me instead because what I came back with was this strange ability to be able to see all of the BS that I was doing. Because one would think, oh, after the suicide, she's going to become all wise. No, I was doing all the shitty things that I was doing before, all of the codependency, all of the people pleasing, overdoing, under appreciating myself, and getting upset at other people when they treated me the way I would teach them to treat me. And but there was a part of me that was able to witness me, myself, without judgment. So I could continue to do bullshit, but it was almost like a very gentle way of calling my BS as well. I don't know if it was okay to swear. It's already done. I'm sorry.
It's totally fine. Yes. Yes.
But it was almost like being reborn and then like a baby beginning to hear myself and understand where I begin and another person ends. My uh, my work since I was 9 years old was that I was going to figure out how to love without getting hurt, but I just became somebody who was supposed to be a student of love, but I became a student of what hurts you in love. And then I did what most of us do when we're scared of something, that I manifested it in my life over and over again. And so I just didn't know who I was really because I had taken so many shapes. I was a chameleon. I was who you wanted me to be. So I literally had to rediscover myself, and integrated family systems theory really helped, where I started to understand and clarify the self-talk that I always had anyway, and started to do microscopic truths with myself, microscopic honesties, and understood this and really started to enjoy my company, Jenny. it was very strange how that happened. I feel like it was the gift of the darkness, because every darkness does have a gift.
Ah, I had to mute my mic so I wouldn't pull the camera to me because I wanted everyone to really hear what you were saying, Sanya. Because I was over here going, mm-hmm, amen, uh-huh, the whole time you were talking. Your very authentic share. I'm hoping the audience, when you're listening to this, if you're also doing the same thing, know that Sanya is there for you. You can find her gifts at Sanya, Sanya Bari, Bari.com. And she has some gifts there for you that I even if you don't want the gift, just get on her mailing list, folks. Because she's part of this vanguard of people that I'm working with to allow the world to know that you can listen to yourself as a guiding beacon. Oftentimes we're taught to look outside, right? To look at everybody else. What's the latest phase? And oftentimes the truth lies in you already. You just have to listen for it. Um, when I started doing my coaching, Sonia, a lot of my coaches would be like, okay, you got to work on that FOMO. Like they have to fear they're missing out on your offer. And now I'm kind of like, let's just muscle test. Is this for you? Because if it is, let's see how we can get it to work. If it's not, great. Would you like to work with someone? I know someone I can refer you to.
Yeah.
Just like I just want to be with people who are very honest about, hey, I know I can help you, and do you know whether or not this is a good fit for you? That's really key. And I love this reminder of the depth, the deep, deep darkness you went through, and then the lessons you learned going out of it. For me, I always serve for safety, just flat out. I just didn't know how else to navigate the world where no one cared how I felt. I was invisible. My needs weren't met. When you're a child, my wonderful audience, and you have, most adults don't have a secret book of how to handle babies. And most adults don't have the tools to know that babies are crying for a reason. Now, unless they're second, like, you're the second baby or the third baby. If you're the first baby, the parents are just not knowing what to do with you. Or my mother had to raise her 5 brothers, even though she was a baby herself. So when I came along, I don't think she really wanted to be a mother. I had that download the other day. Like my mom, I love her. She loves me. And she came from extreme poverty. And when she got pregnant with me, it wasn't this joyful, oh, I'm so excited. She already raised 5 babies. She
Gosh.
was like, ah, you're not even a boy. Like, come on, And she doesn't do that to me now, but back in those days, that did something to my psyche that I had to heal from. So if you've had childhoods like this, my family, I'm gonna call you family. It is imperative that you learn what self-love is for you and give yourself grace because it's not an upward travel in your healing. It's just loops and swirls. It's never this is a straight line going up. Sanya, when you're working with someone or someone's thinking about understanding what it is to love themselves, what's the first step?
The first step is to become very clear about your self-talk and ask yourself, when I speak to myself, am I sounding like a boot camp counselor that's whipping myself into place? Or am I gentle and loving? Because we will often adopt the voice of the people who have been the meanest to us. Many times, we will start treating others the way we treat ourselves. And many times it is the ones that we love that are closest to us that we treat that way as well. Which is why we notice that why are we meanest to the ones that we are closest to. The only way you can treat another person is the way you treat yourself. You want to get rid of criticism? Don't criticize yourself. You want to stop judging? Don't judge yourself. You want to stop lying to other people? Don't lie to yourself anymore. You
Ooh.
want to stop the betrayal? Stop betraying yourself. So everything stems from your relationship with yourself. So the first thing to do is to stop the self-talk from being me.
how does one do that besides work with you?
Wait, they can just notice what it is and just almost like gently say that, firmly and gently. You could be a loving firm and say, I really, if you hear yourself speak in a way, for example, let's say that I'm getting ready for something that I'm late for, that I had no business being late for. I can get mean. It could be like, I can't believe you did this. I can't believe you knew the time is that. And I'll say to myself, I hear you. What you're saying is very important and you've got a point, but you do not speak to me that way. I don't want to be spoke. I don't want anyone to speak to me that way. And you start to heal your self-talk. The thing that I've learned about love that has really shaken everything and helped me create the grot method that I teach is that it's not about what you are doing in love that really matters or decides whether you're going to have a loving that's going to hurt and violate yourself and others, or if it's going to free you. It's where you are loving from that matters. Are you connected to your own loving? Are you connected to the part of yourself that is the abuser, that was taught by the abusers that you had in your life?
Thanks for listening to the Dance to Heal podcast with Jenny C. Cohen. Come back next time to hear stories of inspiring triumph and learn more ways that you can heal yourself. To work with me and continue your journey, visit danceandheal.com. Are you ready to move?